Now? Yeah, excellent. So, a very warm welcome again, and we shall start very shortly as the video of Dr. Darilis, Dr. Yana Darilis. She's a Greek-American living in New York, basically. She's with a PhD in well-being, physical education, and diet. And actually, it's an integrative nutrologist, lifestyle medicine coach, and she is a master in fitness trainer. And Dr. Darilis has sent a video, technical department. You have a video of Dr. Darilis? This is the famous Dr. Darilis I was talking to you about. A very warm welcome to homeland Greece, from New York. And the floor is yours.
Oh boy.
I just made the introduction.
Oh boy. Good afternoon, everyone.
So we have a very distinguished audience from
Yes.
Florida
I'm very nervous.
and the United Kingdom, and of course Greece. You know,
Where are the
Dr.
students?
Manousis. The students are coming, are getting ready to land.
Oh, they're not here yet.
They were
Okay.
delayed.
Well, this lecture was prepared for the students, and,
No,
and-
but we are all students.
no,
we
I
feel
think I
like
need to
students.
learn from this audience, but I will do my best. Okay. So, παιδιά, το έχετε βάλει μέσα. Έχει ανέβει στον υπολογιστή. Oh, here it is. Is this it? Αυτό είναι. Αυτό που είχαν ανοιχτό. All right. So are you all here? This is your first session? Is that right? Oh, okay. I don't know how much I should go into the history because I know there's so many other sessions and Dr. Gerulano speaks about the history, so I'm going to just breeze through it, Hippocrates' history. Is that okay? All right. Okay. Hello, everyone. Today's topic is the Hippocrates lifestyle, his approach to wellness, and how it's applied today. It's reemerging, and I'm very excited about that because it took, we're speaking about a topic that is relevant today as it was over 2,000 years ago. A lot of this information was lost, and it's coming back. In general, medicine in ancient Greece dates back to the second millennium, and the earlier references, of course, dated back also to the first millennium. But the truth is that the contributions of ancient Greek medicine from the Asclepiad Hippocrates, Pythagoreans, and Socrates had an immense influence on the world, particularly in Islam and medieval European medicine. It was not until Hippocrates II that medicine evolved in ancient Greece in the 5th century. He was the first to separate the spiritual aspect of it with science and philosophy from religion. Hippocratic medicine was undoubtedly influenced by the Pythagorean theory of nature, which consisted of the 4 elements, water, earth, wind, and fire. He was born in 460 BC on the island during the famed classical period of Greece, the age of Pericles, into a long lineage of doctors, then known as priests at the time, the medicine men at the time, any way you'd like to call it. He was the grandson of Hippocrates I, and he is the legendary father of medicine and the first physician to lay the foundations of scientific medicine as we know it today. Going just further down, you'll visit the site. You'll get more information about it. The sanctuary, as it was called, was really a type of first hospital, if you may call it. The physicians practiced there. They were the high priests of the god Asclepius. Asclepius was the son of Apollo, the god of light and healing and many other culture and things. He passed down the healing arts to his son, and then that's how the lineage began with Asclepius' sons. One of the most significant sites, besides the one here in Kos, is Epidavros, and many others in Corinth, Trikala, and Pergamon, which is ancient Ephesus. I believe that Hippocrates, for me, was a detective. He was a true detective. He was a scientist. He was one of the first to really study nature in such depth. And he understood the balance of the mind, the body, and nature. And so his ancient team was comprised of not only the doctors that they were mentoring, but the apothecaries and herbalists, rhizostomes. Let me just pass this on here. Guys, it's not moving. I don't know why. So the physicians of the day had gone through the Hippocratic School of Medicine. They worked with rhizostomes. They were apothecaries and herbalists who specialized in. They were responsible for the preparation of all the herbal remedies that the patients were prescribed by the doctors. And then there was the school. The therapies included, the diagnosis rather included, thank you so much. Οπότε κάνω δεξιά. Can you show me how to, I'm sorry, I'm moving it, but it's not moving. Oh, it's that one, okay, great. Hypnotherapy was a very big part of the diagnosis. They wanted the patient to get into a calm state, and they asked them various questions to understand where their mind was at, where the problem was stemming from. They did hydrotherapy, which was very important, and they used geothermal water, the thermal water that is actually called therma. You can visit the site, actually. It's a beautiful place, and the water is It was part of all of the process of balancing the mind and the body. And diet and nutrition was definitely the most important part of the prescription, depending on the illness and the state, again, of the four humors that Hippocrates believed in. Gymnasium exercise, walking, and physical labor was very important because of the circulation, and he encouraged it very much. And they did do massage therapy at the time. He is also, if you've seen his cabinet, he was actually the founder of chiropractic therapies and manipulation and movement, because he used this similar bed to, of course, relocate and replace and fix, especially after war. They had a lot of the soldiers that came in, and he was overseeing them. He was also one of the doctors. It was written that he helped Athens with the plague. The Asclepiad's therapies included nutritional therapy, personalized diets. It was a very personalized approach. Hydrations and broths were given. They were light broths, and barley water frequently were prescribed, especially during the fasting periods when the digestive system wasn't well. And of course, he believed in moderation of everything. He was a man of moderation, nothing in excess. Again, exercise, the walking, the massage, the movements, the hydrotherapy, the geothermal baths, and he was doing cold plunging. He loved the cold water treatments. And especially to reduce fever and any excessive heat in the body. And so moving on to, he had poultices and a variety of things. The balancing of the humors was very important because at the core of Hippocratic medicine is the theory of the four humors: blood, phlegm, yellow and black bile. According to the theory, illness was the result of the imbalance of these humors, and he wanted to restore it through the healing methods. He also conducted bloodletting, cleansing, purging, and spirituality was still part of it, because spirituality and praying, he believed in that very much, and he did also want people to pray and have faith. Hippocrates' philosophy was anchored in preventive care. Prevention is the key to longevity. And of course, life in moderation. He emphasized that living in harmony with nature, and in order to maintain a balance between work, rest, and food, exercise, and emotional well-being is the key principle. It included diet as medicine, exercise and movement, rest and sleep, and he was a very big advocate of clean environment and emotional well-being. His herbal remedies included everything from nature, because nature provides everything that life needs. That's what pharmaceuticals are made of. They are a stronger, more approach to crisis, or even to monitor illnesses. However, prior to pharmaceuticals, we had the herbal medicines. Willow bark, for example, was known as an anti-inflammatory. It contains salicin, and it's a precursor to the modern aspirin. Garlic, as we all know, is used for a wide range of ailments, respiratory issues, digestive problems. It's antimicrobial. Honey, frequently used in combination with herbs, actually, to heal wounds and infections due to, again, the antibacterial properties. Coriander, used to treat digestive issues, respiratory problems with fennel. Mallow, mint, used for digestion. And opium was used back in the day, though it is controversial today. It was used in antiquity as an analgesic and for pain relief. And of course, when they were conducting surgeries, they had to use opium to ease the pain. Thyme, used as an antiseptic for respiratory issues as well, coughs and colds. Again, Hippocrates is ahead of the game. All disease begins in the gut, and now science reemerged in the last decade. They're talking about it, which I'm so excited about. Modern science has validated the view that gut influences not only digestion, but the immune function, mental health, chronic disease prevention, and the ancient belief of dietary interventions can restore health continues to inform the contemporary approaches to nutrition, gut health. And so we have the gut-brain axis, the function of the digestive organs, the nutrient absorption, immune regulation, detoxification, and mental health is all connected. That's the highway. And so this is very interesting, the humoral theory diet, right? So Hippocrates' diet advice was on the theory of the four liquids. And so the blood was a source of energy. He called it in the spring. Phlegm was respiratory. It was associated with the winter. Black bile, which is produced in the liver, is connected to depression. Excess was said to have a melancholic type of character. Yellow bile, produced in the liver for digestion, the gallbladder, is colic in nature and connected to the summer. So certain foods were used, cooled when recommendations for excess phlegm. Warm and moist foods might be prescribed for someone with excess bile. And he was always about eating what food was available for the seasons. And this all sounds familiar, I'm sure, because this is all, these type of remedies are coming back and people are talking about them. And he was also a big advocate of fasting and cleansing. Hippocrates was using fasting as means of healing and resting the body's system. He believed that giving the digestive system time to rest allows the body to focus on healing itself. And the concept of fasting is, of course, still recognized today. And it's funny because if you look at nature, when animals are not feeling well, they don't eat. So the body, after a specific time frame, which is usually over 18 hours, usually at 20 to 24, the body goes into autophagy phase. The Hippocratic nutritional therapeutic ingredients were garlic, honey, vinegar, barley water, and oregano. Oregano is it's a fabulous plant. It's known for its great health benefits, and its compounds are carvacrol, thymol, and rosmarinic acid. They contribute to antibacterial, anti-inflammatory, antiviral digestive health. And of course, the ancient Greek way of eating was the Mediterranean diet. Part of also the Hippocratic philosophy and way of life is happiness. Aristotle, all the great philosophers, they believe that eudaimonia is a big part and maybe the beginning of health. If you're happy, you're positive, all is well, your mind is well, your body will receive the messages and you will be well. Music therapy was also a big part of ancient Greece. They understood that frequency connected to nature and the body, as we are 80% water, frequency of sound, even Tesla has proved that, has a big effect on the body. Now, I'm going to just focus on this for a moment. I had a friend of mine come in last year to help me support my lecture. He was an Apollonian lyre player. The lyre and the avlos were used for many therapeutic treatments to restore emotional balance, and it was considered a big part of antiquity. Pythagoras, Plato, and Aristotle all reference music as moving emotions. Of course, Dorian and Phrygian modes were seen conductive to courage and calmness, and other modes would lead to negative emotions, softness, and laziness. They also used sounds for war to excite the warriors, and then they would use calming music to calm people down. Physical fitness, as we mentioned earlier, was very important. So illnesses, as he says, he's got such amazing quotes, illness do not come upon us out of the blue. They are developed from small daily sins against nature. When enough sins have accumulated, illness will suddenly appear. Now, we're going to cut to today, 2025. We have a very big disconnect from self and nature in so many ways. Humanity, technology is advancing in leaps and bounds, but humanity is still not as far as humanity is concerned. And so we need to kind of see a little bit what's happening. We have an over-reliance on pharmaceuticals. We have a sedentary lifestyle. There's over-processed food and diets, chronic stress and mental health issues, environmental degradation, and people are not happy, especially in very large cities. And this has prompted a global crisis, of course. And this global crisis, as we all know, you know better than any of us in this room, doctors, that obesity has become one of the most pressing global challenges, according to the World Health Organization. More than 2.5 billion adults worldwide, and 900 million are living with obesity. This is a disease at this moment. It's not. It's gone out of control, and Mounjaro and Ozempic may be a good cause, of course, I mean a good treatment for many versus the effects that they'll have without it, but it's still not the cure because it is not sustainable. And people cannot just eat or not know, or they're not educated enough to understand how to eat and not offered the right kind of food, or they may not have the financial means to be able to buy organic food or understand or get high quality whole nutrient food. So we have a problem. Nearly 4 out of 5 adults have obesity. They live in low and middle income countries. Healthcare is very limited in those regions. 9 out of 10 children have obesity. And actually the highest obesity rates found around the world in the Pacific Islands, oddly enough, in the United States, where over 40% of adults live with obesity today. Now, I'd like to just compare them with a population that people don't speak about enough, the Inuits of the Arctic. Thousands of years, the Inuit diets consist of mainly omega-3 fish, seal, and whale fats, foods that are high in healthy fats, and very low in carbohydrates. Despite their high-fat diet, the Inuits historically have low rates of heart disease and metabolic disorders, and thanks to the anti-inflammatory effects of the omega-3 fatty acids and their physical lifestyle. So this is something we should, take note of. The Western diet, it's filled with processed high sugar, toxic colored chemicals, rancid oils and seed oils that they shouldn't be cooking with. And so this is a very big problem, and we all have to play a role. The doctors have to play a role. You have to be more vocal about changing people's diets, because processed food is clearly not working. And we also have to be the example, doctors. There's toxic substances in foods. There's hydrolyzed protein, MSG, which people have a high allergy to. Increase of liver disease, cognitive decline, dental issues, metabolic issues, mental health. I'm not here to be a downer, but we really have to become better at choosing food and telling your patients how to eat better, because life has become unsustainable. The healthcare system is in decline, and we need to do something about it. I think it begins with the healthcare professionals. I believe that you have to be the examples, and you really have to champion this, because aging well is not going to happen with the way that things have been going. And thank God that people are now more aware. They're starting to go to health food stores. They're looking for the organic produce. They're trying to buy less but buy higher quality. They're trying to educate themselves, and that's going to be very important for aging well. The scientific research, as you know, in anti-aging focuses on understanding the biological mechanisms that drive aging, and they find ways to reverse it. I mean, there's a big surge in longevity in anti-aging and what we're finding now, and everyone's finding, is that the decline of biological functions are the central cellular energy sensor that plays a critical role in maintaining the homeostasis in the body, the activated response to low energy levels, and everything that goes with aging is now being studied, and amazing information is coming out on supplements and how to change your lifestyle in order to reverse that. Cellular senescence is a biological process which permanently stops dividing and enters a state of irreversible growth arrest, and senescence is typically triggered as a protective mechanism in response to various types of cellular damage, DNA damage, oxidative stress, telomere shortening. So cells are no longer proliferate, they remain metabolically active, they're releasing a variety of inflammatory molecules, growth factors, and enzymes. And so it's all collectively known as SASP, and glycation is also the biochemical process of the sugar molecule. And of course, glucose, fructose, they bond with proteins, and advanced glycation. All of these are causing aging. We can age better and healthier. There's necessary nutrients that are not getting to the body. As you all know, that enzymes, we're all born with a specific amount of enzymes. These enzymes decline with age. The more we eat, we're losing enzymes, and thus what happens with cooked food is that the enzymes are dying. So anything over 180 degrees Fahrenheit is destroying the enzymes of the food, and what happens, your body is working harder, and it's pulling enzymes from other organs in order to help digest. And this is why we have so many problems with cholesterol. We can't digest lipase, and there's so many issues, and people are eating carbohydrates that they're not able to digest. And so there's necessary supplementation that needs to take place, and this is very important. The D3, the B12s, the folates, B1 is very important for energy and nerves. It's something that you give, I'm sure you prescribe to your Parkinson's and patients who have tremors. C is actually one of the most important vitamins, as you well know, and I take 1,000 a day. A is very important for your eyes and vision, and E, of course, an antioxidant, and K2. Now they're doing microdosing with lithium as an anti-aging method in order to fight dementia. It's proving, and I'm not speaking about the clinical, the pharmaceutical grade for mood and psychological problems. This is a lithium orotate or aspartate in drinking water that's actually been linked to longer lifespan, and studies have shown that it's working. Dr. Ristow, the finder, he found lower is hand in hand with lifestyle changes. And of course, one of the biggest and most amazing diets in the world, it's revered by Harvard and everyone, is the Mediterranean diet. It is the leading model to make this shift, because it's a balanced diet. All these diets have come out. Oh, I'm doing keto. Oh, I'm doing paleo. Oh, I'm doing liquid. Oh, I'm a vegan. This is all wonderful, but you can't go to extremes. And so the reason I like the Mediterranean diet, and the reason it's been proven to be so well, is because it's very balanced. In the landmark PREDIMED trial in Spain, participants on the Mediterranean type diet with extra virgin olive oil and nuts had 30% lower risk of major cardiovascular events. A cohort of 25,315 US women followed for 25 years found that a high adherence to the Mediterranean diet associated with 23% low risk of all-cause mortality. That is a very big study. So meta-analysis is showing that higher Mediterranean diet adherence is associated with 23% reduced risk of developing type 2 diabetes. For weight and obesity, the Mediterranean diet produced greater weight loss than a low-fat diet over 12 months. Low-fat diets do not work. There's nothing wrong with having unsaturated fat. The body is designed, and extra virgin olive oil is excellent for brain health, for your skin health, for your digestion. It's an amazing, amazing natural oil. Butter, besides having butyrate, which is very good for your microbiome, you have to be very careful with. So what changes happen when you adopt it? So the shift towards vegetables, high vegetable diet, high fruit diet, whole grains, but quality grains, not very processed grains. Legumes, nuts, seeds, oil, and olive oil are the primary fat sources, and the outcomes have improved blood pressure, cholesterol, blood glucose, inflammatory biomarkers, better weight control, reduced obesity. And so why does this matter for the health paradigm? Well, people are actually waking up. There's a global shift. Everyone is caring. And people do not want to suffer anymore from cardiovascular disease and diabetes. And so the Mediterranean model has been proven so far very effectively, as has the Asian model. Of course, one of the diets that I really prefer is also the Japanese diet, because it has a lot of raw food in it, and it helps the body. It's an anti-aging. As the more raw food you eat, it's anti-aging. Keep that in mind. Meal times are very important. In antiquity and Ayurvedic medicine, of course, it's very important to have specific meal times. The body needs a natural time schedule. And so the digestion works also with circadian rhythms. Secretion of bile and other digestive juices, they peak at midday, and they're at their lowest in the evening. That's why they say you need to eat lighter at night. Better to have an early breakfast before 8 o'clock. That's the ideal time, and then eat 4 to 5 hours apart. You shouldn't be hungry. If you're eating correctly, you shouldn't be wanting to eat for at least 4 to 5 hours. And then breakfast 8 or before, lunch 12 to 1, and the ideal dinner really is 6 to 7 and at least 3 hours before you go to bed. Now, this is another interesting study, eating less, longevity. So research has shown that you can extend your lifespan by a concept that was studied during World War II. Populations in Europe who experienced food scarcity, particularly in Norway and parts of Greece, had lower rates of heart disease, diabetes, and cancer. Many individuals from that era, they lived longer subsequent generations. This outcome is attributed to the phenomenon known as caloric restriction. Now, we're not speaking of anything under 1,200 or 1,000 calories. It's unhealthy, depending on the height and the weight of the individual. Of course, the BMI is very important. But less food is actually an anti-aging mechanism. And so studies in animals and humans show that fasting triggers autophagy, it reduces inflammation, it improves insulin sensitivity, increases your telomeres, activates your genes linked to stress resistance. So fasting is allowing the body to redirect energy from digestion to regeneration, and it supports that ancient truth that sometimes less truly is more when it comes to health and the lifespan. Basically, we need to get back to nature. That's the bottom line. We need air and oxygen. We need water. We need medicinal plants, Bach remedies. We need to have more sunlight. Sunlight's very important. And we need to be around natural spaces because our eyes, when we connect to nature, they give us a calming feeling. We are one with nature, and we need to get back to that. Nature has provided everything and all the nutrients we need, and I'm going to give you the example of the apple, one of my favorite foods, because it's been designed to help your digestion, okay? Why do I like apple? For many, many different reasons. It's very good for the gallbladder. It helps break down gallstones. It's very good it lowers cholesterol levels. It's satiating because it has pectin in it. It's full of fiber. It's sweet as well, but it doesn't really, spike your glycemic index. And so it's also it's good for detoxification, along with parsley and celery and a nice juice. It's so good for you. It helps detoxify the body, removes heavy metals in the digestive system, and helps remove them from the body because it helps people who are constipated. Longevity and the holistic approach. Well, here we are. The holistic approach, integrative medicine, naturopathic approach is a health history, blood testing. We do full panels to see the deficiency, the hormone health. The genetics play a very big role. Inflammation markers, glucose levels, and the blood type. Blood type, according to Dr. D'Adamo's theory, plays a role in what your body can digest and cannot. The O blood types, as we all know, are the first human blood types in the world, and if you're an O blood type, your body reacts better to digesting meat, vegetables, and fruit. And the A blood types are gregarian. They are agricultural. They were in the mountains, so your body does digest wheat much better and grains. But grains are not all equal. Grains have to be a very high nutrient source. Sprouted grains are the most nutritious grains in the world, and they're very good for your brain and your body. They are high in amino acids. They're very, very good for you. They're high in fiber. So sprouted grain bread is amazing. Ezekiel bread, try it if you can. And grain-free bread as well from the sprouted grains. We do stool testing to see if there's any parasites, microbiome issues, digestion problems, pathogens, VO2 max tests to see where your heart is at, cardiovascular health, and it's a holistic prescription. And then the program for us, for prevention is, of course, lifestyle changes, diet changes, nutrition, mental, physical health. Does that sound familiar to you? It kind of sounds Hippocratic to me. So Hippocrates was ahead of the game. How many years ago? And now we're talking about this? We should be ashamed of ourselves. However, that information was lost. It was lost, and it's coming back again. And I'm very excited because it's coming back in a bigger and better way. And so mind-body connection of Hippocrates was anger was related to the liver, happiness to the heart, thoughtfulness to the heart and the spleen, sadness to the heart and the lungs, fear to the kidneys, surprise to the heart and the gallbladder, anxiety hit the heart and the lungs, and the teeth is connected to every organ and many areas of your body. We are all connected. We're a little universe within ourselves, everyone. And so you have to start loving yourself, because when you have emotions that you're not expressing, you will hit an organ. If you're not expressing yourself, you're hurting your thyroid. If you're angry at someone, you're hurting your liver. And so this is the connection of the emotions, because we are energetic beings, and energy will hit somewhere. If you're not letting it out, it's going to hit you inside. I just wanted to go back to this real quick. What's happening with the integrative approach is we're using a lot of therapies that are now getting into mainstream, and we're very happy that they're part of hospitals. So the detoxes are very important. Supplement support, corrective nutrition, sun therapy, infrared light therapy increases micro blood circulation. It heals your cells faster, regenerates your cells. It's reducing inflammation, removing lactic acid, as is cryotherapy. Oxygen therapy, the H-bot, I mean, it does amazing things. A hyperbaric chamber, for me, is an amazing therapy. And if you don't like to do it, go up to the mountains for at least 10 days, get some hypoxia going, start, developing some red blood cells, and come back down 10 years younger. And so thalassotherapy, mineral-rich water, improves circulation. Your body is receiving minerals that are very necessary for you, killing, because of the radon, depending on the percent, it's killing a lot of bacteria that may be on you as well. And of course, exercise and chiropractors to adjust the skeleton. Acupuncture, because the Asian method of meridian points is very important for the electrical system of the body, and blockages. Sound therapy, as we mentioned, are now doing frequency with hertz and massages. HRT, I mean, hormone replacement therapy has done wonders for people. And holistic dentistry, removing chemicals and toxins from your mouth, because they cause a lot of problems. Overdrink, because that can also strain. Everything has to be in balance. I'd like to focus on the importance of the sun real quick until the doctor throws me off the stage, because I'm running over. The sun is, as we know, the greatest healer for us. It's a master regulator of our circadian rhythm. Every morning the sun goes into your eyes, it activates the special receptors in your retina, and it sends a signal to your brain, which is the master clock, suprachiasmatic nucleus, telling your body it's time to wake up. Melatonin will stop, because that's a sleep hormone. It switches off, and the cortisol begins to rise naturally. And so you have to be careful with the blood work, because it depends on what time of the day they're doing it, that the cortisol levels are higher. And throughout the day, natural light keeps your mood and metabolism balanced. The sun is setting, the darkness triggers, melatonin starts again. And we today are on our computers. We're on our screens, and what happens? The body's confused. You can't relax. You cannot sleep. Your circadian rhythm is upside down. The nervous system and your brainwave function is very important. The autonomic nervous system, the sympathetic and parasympathetic branches, are crucial for maintaining overall wellness of being. And so the fight or flight response is causing the adrenaline. It prepares the body for action, as you know. And what happens? You can have a heart attack. And if we're in a stress mode every day, running to work, taking care of things, the body thinks you're in the survival mode, and it's going to affect you. You're going to have many issues. You all know this. The alpha waves are associated with calm and relaxed states, and we need to have more dominance of the parasympathetic than the sympathetic. The beta waves are linked to the alertness. And so if you're overthinking, then we have sleep problems, and we can't think straight. So we have to take all of these into account, because this is the reason that everyone's health is declining today. The importance of sleep, as you know, rise at 6 a.m. is a natural process. It comes with the sun. And of course, you should be sleeping at least by 10 p.m. Of course, it's very hard with social life, and the Greeks, we like to go out, and the Europeans, and everyone likes to enjoy themselves, but you really need to give your body time to slow down, Alcohol at night, a lot of alcohol at night isn't good for you. You all know that. I don't have to tell you. And so all of this sounds very familiar, and this is why Greece is part of the blue zones, and this is why doctors decided to study longevity, because they were realizing something's happening in the world. Why are people outside of the United States living longer? Let's find out. These Italian doctors did the study, and then Buter, the journalist, went along with them, and they discovered areas in the world that are living longer. And the reason they're living longer, we just mentioned all those reasons. They have plant-based whole food diets, the Mediterranean diet, the Asian diet, Indian diet, even Middle Eastern diet is better than this, although the Middle East is suffering now from diabetes. Physical activity, alcohol in moderation, sense of purpose of life, family, community, and reduction of stress. This is all the criteria of Hippocrates. He has been saying this for over 2,000 years. To slow down aging, we have to reduce oxidative stress. We have to help our mitochondria. We have to reverse and prevent inflammatory protocols that are causing cellular senescence. We have to preserve our enzymes, eat in moderation, less food, and you'll look and be better. You won't need a plastic surgeon. You're gonna look great. It's gonna tighten your skin. And so, lifestyle diet. Essential longevity supplements, what we're finding today, these are the essential supplements. D3, K2, omega-3, magnesium. And that's a deficiency. CoQ10, PQQ, acetyl L-carnitine. Folinic acid can improve communication and behavior in some autistic children who have cerebral folate deficiency. This is amazing. And so energy medicine, quantum medicine, that's the future. And just to close off, the future is the past. And if you see, that's Singapore. Singapore decided that they're going to make their community healthy again. They're going to bring, because it had so many buildings, it was too hot, and there was environmental problems. And so they went back to nature. They're eating better, they're exercising, they're creating biomimicry engineering, and they're living a more sustainable life. And so I leave you with this. We are responsible, especially every single one of you who is here in healthcare. We're all responsible to helping bring back health to people and the earth. Thank you.
So the next speaker is Dr. Stylianou. She's a Greek that lived many years in Italy, and she has worked with in Salerno with Giardino de Minerva, and also she's in the group of botanical gardens around Mediterranean. We're in a group with Montpellier, Salerno, Kos, and a couple of others, but the close circuit is these three. Have we received, are we in contact, gentlemen of the technical department? Are we in contact with Dr. Stylianou, we have a lecture.
Yes, hello. Kalispera, good afternoon. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Melina. We are pleased to have you here.
Yes, and I'm very pleased to have been invited on behalf of the Giardino, and I'm also very, very happy to see that Luciano Mauro, the director of the Giardino della Minerva, was able to join as well. So it is his presentation. I translated it into English, and normally I would have been with you on course, which would have been a really nice opportunity to catch up again from close. And with Luciano Mauro, back in 2017, we traveled to Kos, and we were very fortunate to bring a little or two little platanos, plane trees, back to Salerno. And at the end of my presentation, you will have the opportunity to see how big it grew in the Giardino della Minerva in Salerno. I hope you can hear me because
We can hear you, but you have internet connection problems.
okay, so one moment. So just so I shared it. Can you see it now? It should come up in a moment. Can you see the presentation?
Go on, please. Go on.
Yes, okay. So Salerno in southern Italy, just 70 kilometers south of Naples and close to the Amalfi Coast to get an idea of the location. And it was the place of the very famous medical school in the medieval. And it was the garden of Matteo Silvatico, a professor at this medieval school, medical school, and he followed the ancient Greek practice to show plants on the spot in his private garden. So you will get introduced now to the private garden. That was then transformed to a municipal garden by Luciano Mauro and his team. So here you can see it's a coastal town, Salerno, and you can see different places now of the town and get an idea of this is the level of the sea, and where you see the white buildings over there, it's the upper part of the town, and that's where the Giardino della Minerva is located. Here you can see it very well. It's an ancient painting, and you see a castle on top of the mountain. So this is a view of Salerno. Just in the center of the photo, you can see some like terraces, as you know it from Greece, also for agricultural reasons, and that's where the Giardino is located. So here you will get an idea that it's on 6 levels, and they span over 17 meters from the ground level to the upper level. And this year the inauguration of a new level, and we're very proud of being able to get familiar with the structure you see. And the interesting part now for our presentation here is what you see on the ground level that shows like a circle divided into 4 parts. And this is as the speaker, the lady before, mentioned about the 4 humors, like the black bile, yellow bile, and so on. The plant beds are structured in this sense, following Hippocrates and Galen's matrix. That means you will see here now, you can see here the structure, and here it's a photo of what you saw before in the scheme. And there are medicinal plants planted there in terms of the elements and the 4 humors and the degrees of how strong they are. So here you get more familiar with the garden. There is this staircase leading up to the upper floors and the fountain of the Minerva, which is original. And here you can see very nicely on the left hand how the structure is, explaining Hippocrates' structure of the 4 humors and the elements. So here we are. And by the way, speaking of the plane tree we got from Kos Island, we brought as a present a small plant of this plant you see here around next to the fountain, which is the so-called colocasia, which is very emblematic for the Salerne Medical School. So this is in Kos now. Here you see some medieval artworks to show the situation. There is a rich library about how medicine and medicinal herbs evolved. So here you can see it was about plant-based remedies, mineral remedies and animal-based remedies that were described here. I'm sorry, there was an interruption. So, just one moment. So, our mission is to convey through the garden the therapeutic tradition rooted in the Hippocratic Galenic matrix characteristic of the Salernitane Medical School. So what you saw before. Here you can see it also more into detail, speaking about the different humors and the elements that are described in this matrix. Here we see that the medieval pathology is essentially based on the doctrine of the 4 humors, which in turn is founded on the ancient theory of the elements. And you can see that in the scheme. The humors correspond to the 4 elements and possess the same characteristics. The humors and therefore the elements are then in direct relation to the so-called primary qualities they possess: hot, cold, wet, and dry. And when you go to the Giardino on the ground level, you will see it on the floor. You will see it in stone tiles, so you can really feel embraced by this ancient wisdom and understand from close how it is related to the medicinal herbs planted there. So we heard about the phlegmon before, so I won't go into detail. These are the elements we know also from other ancient traditions like China. And here it is very, very important to get close to nature and the wisdom we have. And it was very important to know the capacities of each plant in order to know how to use them in medicine. So I proceed. Here you can see again the idea behind the matrix. So aqua is water, fuoco is fire, aria is the air, and terra is the earth. So this is something which is the uh, then related. So the line is back. Sorry for this, but the internet is not very stable here. So here you can see it also in colors. So the strength is the dark color, and then it's getting lighter. It's all about the degree of the capacity of the plants. So here you see one more plant to understand the structure, and here again you can understand how it is planted. And this is one of the initial photographs. Now it's very rich in plants. It's a very, very nice garden.
Excuse me.
And,
you
oh,
speak
sorry,
the
that was too
time
fast.
screening because we see your face and we
So
don't see your
one,
presentation.
can you hear me? Yes?
We can hear you.
Hello?
You should share
Can you
the
hear me?
screen again. You should share the screen again.
Ah, yes, okay, sorry. Just one moment, let me see.
Nina, we are hearing on and off and many interruptions.
Yes.
So
Yeah,
if you can
unfortunately, it's
conclude, then we'll have the chance to have this lecture on another occasion. Thank you very much.
So
for
can
coming.
you hear me now? Is it better?
Right
Just
now,
one moment.
yes.
What I can do, just one moment. I will go out. So it's not very professional background, but to have a more professional sound, I will go onto the terrace. One moment, please. So just one moment, and let's hope that it's better here. So just one moment, please. So can you hear me better now? Hello? So can you hear me now?
We can hear you
Hello?
now.
Can you hear me now? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, so I share the screen now. So, and again, excuse me now for the very unprofessional background, whatever, but the line is good now. Can you hear me, the connection? Okay. So, what is important is that we have a very elaborated. Can you hear me? Hello?
Dear Melina, if you can hear us, unfortunately we have to interrupt because it's more than 10 times that we have signal loss. So we'll give this lecture on another occasion with better signal. We all thank you very much.
Then we will have the possibility from close. Yeah, but I went outside now. If it's better now, it will stay better.
It's not really. It's not really. It's interruptions.
Not
again,
okay.
on and off.
Good. So then I went. I wish all the best to your event.
And we shall have a chance to meet on another occasion.
Yes, so as we say in Italian, it's like an aperitivo, a teaser, one would say in English, in this situation, that you got a first idea There is the website that is Giardino della Minerva IT that will also be translated into English, but with AI you can also get a good idea of how active we are. And next year then hopefully with all our partners from Salerno and COS all together from close.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much
Thank
indeed.
you. Goodbye. Goodbye.
And we go to our next speaker, which is... Yes, we're going to the next speaker, Dr. Karayani, who is going to tell us about Hippocrates' legacy, how relevant it is now more than ever for the well-being and sustainable development of local communities. Dr. Karayani has worked a lot and knows the subject in depth, and she has been together for many years, and we thank her for being here tonight, and we're eager to listen to her introduction.
Thank you for the invitation. It is a pleasure. I do have the presentation, but I would like to get your support or your opinion and to have a creative, to open a creative discussion about this issue, because it's not a speech, it's a project. So this is the way we have to see that. And having as a basis the Hippocratic Foundation, of course, International Hippocratic Foundation, we'd like to have some insights from your side in this project and see how this legacy, how we can go on to a good life in a way, well-being, and sustainable for the destination, following the instructions, following the quotes, following the spirit, the philosophy of Hippocrates. His spirit is so everywhere in the air, and COS has been touched by his, aura. So this is something that it's a teamwork, I can say. That's why I would like to start with the slides, but to discuss on this issue together. I have to say for myself that I come from tourism sector, and also the strategic management, strategic marketing issue. So I approached Hippocrates with my own knowledge and my own experience, and I would like to have a bond between the Hippocrates, the quotes of Hippocrates that give us this quality in life, and to have a case study with COS. I think that for me, I'm not a doctor, not a doctor, but studying, reading the quotes of Hippocrates, the instructions of Hippocrates concerning the balance that we should have, the body, the soul, the spirit, all this in an harmony, give us a well-being manual for our lives. So, I have to stay here because we have the same meaning in well-being, because today we say that wellness is a physical and mental health, reflects the quality of the social values, but Hippocrates, before 2,500 years, was saying that health is a state of complete physical, mental, social well-being. So, I think that he's really quite modern, and he can give us the instructions for the future. And I would like your help here. The inspiration that we get from Hippocrates, let's say the botanical garden, how can influence the schools, the societies, how how can bring the spirit in our houses? How in the public areas of a place like Kos, and then all over the world, at hospitals? And what about our guests? Because it's a tourism destination, we have to include the guests inside, in this concept. I'm here to hear you. I'm not the one that has to speak, but I would like you, with your experience in your world, to give us some insights. And I'm writing down. So I kindly ask you to contribute to this effort.
We can start with botanical garden.
Yes.
And we all know that pharmaceutical companies derive.
You have to take the microphone.
I was not prepared for that, but it's interesting. We have to start from the botanical garden and the medicines Hippocrates prescribed at that time, with limited, pure medical knowledge of that time. And it has proved that for many things they were right. And there are 270, Stephanos is the number correct, plants, botanical plants described by Hippocrates. And in this garden, at its best, we had 240 cultured here. But for numerous reasons, basically limited financial resources, the number has been diminished. And we're in an effort of promoting this project in many different ways, using all accessible tools, including artificial intelligence or technical tools that they can make the acquaintance between the visitor and the reality. As you know very well, because we have collaborated on that, we have at this moment 105 QR codes that they are for plants donated by the Koulias group, who has significantly helped the garden to improve. And you can go there with your phone and put the QR code and you'll see the plant. We are in the process of publishing from an English publishing company about 350 Hippocratic plants and their qualities and what they do. And it will come in the press in the very near future. This was the effort of our late curator of the garden, a Greek botanologist of very high quality, working with the Agricultural University of Athens. Unfortunately, he passed away a couple of weeks ago, and but he has done the work. He has sent to a big publishing company in England, and they're going to publish it shortly, and we're going to see it in press also. So one thing is the plants, and what we do with it. Pharmacology, if you want, in other words. The other that you mentioned is nothing in excess, and we should be moderate with
Moderate,
our
yeah.
actions.
Yeah.
We've heard before from Dr. Darilis many interesting things that if we're angry with each other, it will harm our liver with excess of bile excreted there. And therapeutically, he has done through observation, pathology, internal medicine, not pathology. Pathology is direct translation from Greek. Pathologia in Greek means internal medicine, while pathology is pathologic anatomy. And what would you expect us to hear? We are here because Hippocrates is holistic medicine. It's therapy, also with a spirit included, with equal values. For me, he's one of the 5 best ancient Greek well-known philosophers after Socrates, Plato, and everybody. It was the same historical period. It was the golden age of Pericles. How is it in English? Pericles? Pericles. And when Parthenon was created in Athens, and the Athenian democracy flourished, and many other things, also bad things, because Greeks are famous, you know, they win a war and then they make a civil war. And they destroy each other. But at this period, Hippocrates rose, and he taught the world 2,500 years ago about, with his oath, and you'll get a copy of the oath, especially this group of participants, where he showed that men and women are equal. Slaves and free men are equal. The doctor has to have a proper appearance when he enters the house of a patient. He has to keep the secret of the disease. Bioethics, 2,500 years ago. So we get very strong meanings. And what we want in this period of life that we live, that everything is technology. If you go to an internist, he will put many data on his computer, and then he will come up with 5 or 10 diagnoses that AI will show him to make a differential diagnosis. Then we want to see that doctors are close to patients, and they have a feeling for the patient, and you must know your patient as yourself. I know only of one clinic in the United States, in Johns Hopkins, where there's a special chair funded by a Greek millionaire, a woman, that she has donated a very big hospital in the center of Athens, besides other things, to pay extra the American physicians to visit the patients at the houses and get a personal approach with them. So all these meanings we've got from Hippocrates 25 centuries ago.
That's right.
And we have to evaluate, cultivate, and the aim of this institution and the group, and we shall call all of you to become members of this group, is to find more colleagues, more physicians, that they're in the same waveline of thinking about the future of medicine and the future of the way we should practice medicine. Perhaps the older generation are like mine and my fathers, they were in the Hippocratic spirit, but the younger generations, I really have doubted if they are anywhere beyond the last piece of medical scientific information on the internet. What's the feeling we have from our colleagues from the United States? Feel free to speak. It's a closed group here. Anyone would like to comment?
for sure Dr. Wolfson would be the first one to join us. You know, it's a very provocative thought. You can't help but be in this environment and be very reflective. For those of you that don't know me, yeah, I've spent the last 35 years in medical education, teaching both medical students and residents in Tampa. As you know, as I've reflected on my own talk for tomorrow, you're absolutely correct. There are themes. They're just foundational concepts that we need to reflect on, nurture. But you know, as I look at some of the artifacts here, right, I also would suggest, you know, Hippocrates was a man of his time. He used the tools that he had. He had a conceptual framework of the way the body worked, anatomy and physiology of the day. And so, you know, as I reflect on this, I think, what would this guy think of if he plopped down right now? And what would he think of tools like AI? I'm going to suggest that the current generation of young physicians is not as hopeless as we might be portraying. We work with these young kids every day. They're very creative, they're very bright, they're very hungry to understand the connections from 2,500 years ago to today. But, sir, you are right. We live in a very complicated, busy, time-constrained world with lots of technologies that are evolving at a pace that, you know, our dean, Dr. Lockwood, likes to remind us that, you know, the human brain just can't wrap its mind around. He likes to say that when he went to medical school, medical knowledge, you know, doubled every several years. You know, medical knowledge now is doubling, you know, Dr. Lockwood likes to say every 73 days. We always decide whether that's right. But again, it's very rapidly developing. So I think that, you know, as it relates to things like AI, that genie's out of the bottle. That's not going away. And I think it is up to us to reflect on how we can use that tool as Hippocrates used the tools he used in his day, and distill from it the greatest good that we possibly can. Because AI is not going away, and we need to teach those generations of young physicians, both she's and he's, how to implement those tools, yet still preserve the centrality of the patient. That really, I think, as I reflect on Hippocrates, the power of observation, the power of understanding the patient, the power of understanding, you know, the social context within which the patient lives, the culture within which the patient lives, I think is all incredibly important to bring forward to 2025 as we kind of chart this new course. As it relates to the botanical garden, and again, I think to the talk we heard before, you know, I would largely agree with a lot of what you talked about. And I am also heartened by the fact that within, you know, at least U.S. medical schools, there's a great thirst for, and there are a couple of different things it's called, culinary medicine, food is medicine, lifestyle medicine. They're kind of interconnected. Just a tremendous thirst by the younger generation, because they understand all the, you know, where we've come in the last 100 years with regards to the excesses of eating and the ills of obesity and all that stuff. That said, it's not the solution to everything, and I think that we can't be blind to that. There are things that people are going to get despite their best efforts whether it be autoimmune diseases, cancer, and a host of other things, because they're just wired to get it. And we need to be prepared to deal with that. And never have we lived at a time where we have more tools, hopefully in a very precise way to deal with it. So that's, to me, this whole week is just this juxtaposition of this incredible legacy that we've inherited, and we must cherish and preserve and understand deeply, yet balance that against a pace of change in medicine, and again, particularly related to AI as you reflect. We don't want folks to just be mindlessly following algorithms that they don't really understand. And I will tell you from personal experience, never more do you want to understand the decision-making in algorithms than when it applies to you. Because when you're the patient and at the center of the equation, suddenly you want to know why everybody's thinking what they're thinking. So those are just some thoughts.
Thank you very much for your contribution.
Thank you.
Any other contributions from the audience? Any other contribution from the audience is most welcome. So, if not,
I have a last question.
we continue with Dr. Kaya.
I would like to ask you, what about the society? How we connect Hippocrates with the society? And let's take as a case the local society, that this is the motherland, but every society as well. I think this is the chance to do things.
Your floor is yours.
There's actually a brand new field, STS, studying the connectivity or the power of knowledge creation vis-a-vis culture. It's called STS, Science, Technology, and Sociology. It's relatively new. It started in England, and I happen to have the my mentor at Harvard was Sheila Jasanoff. She has published quite a bit on it, and it really unpacks the various conundrums and the power plays that we see today in the US in particular that can leave us speechless. How could this be? I urge you to look her up, Professor Sheila Jasanoff. She's, and in fact, she's also in the chairing the Medical Ethics Committee at one point, at least when I was there, at the Harvard Medical School. Thank you.
Thank you for contribution. We'll have a look. We'll see that. Thank you very much for your advice. And you want?
Yeah.
Well, I can only speak about New York. In New York, what they're doing to help educate the population about food, nutrition, and a better lifestyle is, for example, Hope of Harlem has a wonderful program, and all these doctors have come in, nutritionists, psychologists, to help the population with mental, the new generation that has some mental issues, free psychology, free nutrition. They're introducing food, educating the parents, educating the kids how to eat better, bringing in farm-to-table food. They're selling food from upstate New York. And so this is a way to connect to the society by doing a festival, I guess a market festival maybe with some talks, or in America they do like these, expos that they're sharing information with people. So that could be something that Greece can start doing, is sharing the information of Hippocrates like in a small little mobile unit going to little areas and sharing this information and selling food and bringing in local farmers and supporting local produce and farmers and things like that. Because that's the community. Everybody has a role in the community, so we can all, everybody can support each other.
Thank you very much. Very, very interesting. And I would like to ask you, if you have a headache, you're very tired, and you have a work to do, something, or a research, and you need your head to be clear, what are you doing? What do you follow from the instructions of Hippocrates, or you take a pill?
Oxygen, water, caffeine, you know. If you have a paper to work on all night.
I mean, yeah, please tell us.
Καθαρός αέρας, oxygen,
That's what he was telling us. I
and
mean,
water, a lot of water.
if you don't feel well, go for a walk. But if you still don't feel well, still going on, I mean, keep on going. Do another walk, take another walk.
Have an
So-
apple.
Of course, yeah. But these are so simple, and I mean the people they don't use it, they don't follow it. So I think that we have a frame, we have a lot of things to do, and you are the ones that you can contribute to this issue. And I think that you can work it out as well. I saw that need, I felt that need because a few years ago, I was the project manager of a conference that was about tourism, because this is my field. But it was here in Kos, and I didn't know how to attract the travel agents and the tour operators and the editors of the biggest media, German media in Europe, and I didn't know what to do. So I said, okay, I go to the heritage of Hippocrates. And the heritage of Hippocrates was really the tool that moved everything. Everything was moved around the Hippocrates. And then it came to my mind that how can influence the visitors, the tourists, to feel this air of Hippocrates here, to feel the botanical, to feel the philosophy, to feel that this is the land of Hippocrates. But every place can be a land of Hippocrates if they work it out according to his philosophy. So these are my questions. I mean, this is why I wanted your contribution. I'm from another field. I'm trying hard about this, and I'm trying to influence people and to make them feel the philosophy and get some, how can I say, and get the benefit of this issue. And I see that there are people that they can understand that, and there are hotels that they work it out. But we need still more work, and we need to try harder. The foundation, the Hippocratic Foundation, can be the basis for this. It's a matter of research, it's a matter of work, it's a matter of bonding, it's a matter of having a teamwork on this project, but it's quite interesting. So we can combine everything. We can use, I mean, everyone's effort. These are my questions, and everything is at your hands.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your stimulating introduction. Thank you very much for what you have done until now, and I'm sure you'll continue doing about Hippocratic ideals, Hippocratic lifestyle, and in the future. And we all need to cooperate in this field and spread out this very important heritage that we have, and make it a lifestyle. Because it's a very wise, sophisticated lifestyle by a great philosopher 2,500 years ago. So we have to take advantage of that and disseminate knowledge and thoughts and spirit and philosophy, and take it from there.
Make it simple, and spread it and share
Exactly.
it.
Thank you very much.
Thank
your
you very much.
contribution.
Thank you.
So we proceed to the next session now. I'll just need my little booklet. And the first introduction, unfortunately, for reasons that were out of control, was unable to be here with us, Professor Gutierrez. And so our next speaker is Dr. Zeroukalis, who is a psychiatrist here in Course, and he's scientific director of an organization, non-profit organization between the municipality of Course and the local church. And he's going to tell us about Stefan. Your microphone is yours.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. We are going to have, as a first speaker, Dr. Koutsouratis is not here.
He is unable, that problem that was unable.
Okay, so we'll ask Dr. Geroukalis to present his paper From Hippocrates to Quantum Ontology, The Enigma of Consciousness. Από τον Ιπποκράτη στην κβαντική οντολογία, το ένιγμα της συνειδήσεως.
Κύριε Πρόεδρε, να βάλουμε την πρώτη διαφάνεια.
Ναι, την παρουσίαση.
Εγώ θα φροντίσω στο τέταρτο να είμαι έτοιμος.
We have anyhow to cancel the walking tour because the students are not here, and the museum is closing at 8 o'clock, so it is over. We will cancel the walking tour, so we have the time, because the students are not here yet, and the other thing that the museum closes at 8 o'clock today instead of 9 o'clock. We have to learn reading. Before it was a red light when the microphone was on. Now we have to read mic on, mic off. So in my age, it's probably necessary to restart learning the letters.
The best I've heard was from a technician of cars is that you are old.
Δεν τα
Δεν
μεταφέρετε.
είναι αυτό το δικό μου το σλικάκι.
We have in Athens problems with the afternoon flights because the controllers have forced that only 28 planes per hour can land and get off in Athens instead of 36 that were up to now. So there are always a lot of delays in the planes. But even the boat from Rhodes was also late today, although there was no wind and no bad weather. Παιδες, yeah. It was so much easier. It was so much easier when we had the slides, one after the other.
It was a nightmare when we had to have the slides prepared 3 days before the lecture. Yeah. We couldn't make any changes.
But then the light bulb went off and projected.
Then you should be prepared with photocopies of your slides.
When I was in school in Zurich in Switzerland, we were so naughty that when the professor of radiology, he had his the big glass slides like that, and for every slide he had what he was going to say, and he was reading it. So one time we went and mixed all the slides. And he had,
Is this the first time you're admitting to this?
Yes. You would have not graduated from Zurich.
we managed.
Okay.
Εντάξει.
I haven't done anything, no? I'm innocent.
Κύριε Πρόεδρε, κυρίες και κύριοι, θα ξεκινήσουμε ένα κατά τη γνώμη μου ενδιαφέρον ταξίδι για να δούμε βέβαια θα αναφέρω απλώς τους πρώτους βασικούς σταθμούς της, ότι ο Μαξ Πλάνκ το 1900 μας έφερε τα κβάντα στη ζωή μας, ο Αϊνστάιν το 1905 την κβαντική θεωρία, ο Νίλς Μπορ το 13 το ατομικό μοντέλο, ο Χάιζενμπεργκ την αρχή της αβεβαιότητας το 1927 και έκλεισε ο κύκλος με τον Πολ Ντιράκ το 1930 με την κβαντική μηχανική. Αυτή ακριβώς τώρα είναι η βάση πάνω στην οποία θα πρέπει να συζητήσουμε το τι ακριβώς συμβαίνει από εδώ και πέρα. Όλα αυτά όμως για να γίνουνε, έπρεπε να υπάρχει ένα κοσμολογικό θεώρημα και να υπάρχει επίσης και μία πραγματικότητα που θα πρέπει ο εγκέφαλος να την κάνει πράξη. Και έτσι έχουμε την ανθρωπική αρχή, η οποία λέει με λίγα λόγια ότι ο κόσμος φτιάχτηκε για να υποδεχθεί τον άνθρωπο. Γι' αυτό το λόγο έχουμε μόνο 4 δυνάμεις, τις, όπως ξέρετε καλύτερα από μένα, τη βαρυτική, ηλεκτρομαγνητική, ασθενή και ισχυρά πυρηνική. Και με βάση την ανθρωπική αρχή κατανοούμε ότι ο κόσμος δημιουργήθηκε για να υποδεχθεί τον άνθρωπο. Και έχουμε βεβαίως τον περίφημο Γκέντελ με το θεώρημά του περί μη πληρότητας και ερχόμαστε σε αυτό που λέμε όλοι πραγματικότητα. Τι είναι η πραγματικότητα? Στην ουσία η πραγματικότητα δεν είναι τίποτα άλλο παρά μία προβολή ενός τετραδιάστατου, αθέατου αλλά υπαρκτού κόσμου πάνω σε μία ψευδαισθησιακή τομή που έχει να κάνει σε μη ευκλίδιες γεωμετρίες. Όλα αυτά θα πρέπει να έχουν κάποιο εργαλείο με το οποίο να μπορούν να γίνονται και ερχόμαστε λοιπόν στον εγκέφαλο. Ο εγκέφαλος λειτουργεί κυρίως μέσα σε ένα χαοτικό σύστημα με τους ελκυστές του, δηλαδή με φάσεις οι οποίες μπορούν να προσδιορίσουν το πού θα πάει το σύστημα, αλλά ο εγκέφαλος έχει εγγενώς μία πολύ μεγάλη δυνατότητα να αποκωδικοποιεί συμβολισμούς, να αποκωδικοποιεί σύμβολα και όχι μόνο μία γραμματική ή ένα συντακτικό σε μία πρόταση. Αυτή η αποκωδικοποίηση των συμβόλων σε οποιοδήποτε γνωστικό ή γνωσιακό ή γλωσσικό σύστημα είναι αυτή η λειτουργία που παντρεύει τη συνείδηση με την χημεία, με την ηλεκτροφυσική, με τη βιοχημεία και με την νευροχημεία των συνάψεων. Και εδώ τώρα είναι το εκπληκτικό, πώς γίνεται από μία ηλεκτροχημική αντίδραση στη σύναψη να παράγεται το συναίσθημα, να παράγεται η προσοχή, ο φόβος, η αδυναμία ή οτιδήποτε άλλο. Όλα αυτά οπωσδήποτε έχουν ένα βιολογικό υπόστρωμα. Αλλά όποιο βιολογικό υπόστρωμα και αν επιλέξουμε, επειδή ακόμα δεν έχουμε κατασταλάξει ποιο ισχύει, από τους μικροσωληνίσκους του Penrose μέχρι τα κιστίδια του Έκλες, πάντα θα παραμένει το ερώτημα πώς αυτή η ύλη μετατρέπεται σε συνείδηση, μετατρέπεται, να πάμε στο επόμενο, μετατρέπεται σε εγκεφαλική λειτουργία, μετατρέπεται σε αυτό που λέμε ένα αναδυόμενο φαινόμενο που αναγνωρίζουμε ότι αυτός είναι ο Γιάννης, αυτή είναι η Ελένη, αυτός είναι ο Νίκος. Για να προκαλέσω λίγο το θέμα μας, να πω ότι ακριβώς με αυτό το σκεπτικό, με αυτή την λογική ερμηνείας, μπορούμε να ερμηνεύσουμε τη ζωή και το θάνατο, γιατί η μεν ζωή δεν είναι τίποτα άλλο παρά μία ανάπτυξη της καμπυλότητας του χώρου της υπάρξεώς μας. Ο δε θάνατος είναι μία συρρίκνωση της καμπυλότητας του χώρου, με δυνατότητα ανακλήσεως, επομένως ερμηνεύεται και η Ανάσταση, και με βάση όλα αυτά να ξαναδούμε το πώς αυτά μπορούν να ερμηνευτούν. Και λέω να ξαναδούμε πώς αυτά μπορούν να ερμηνευτούν, γιατί ανεξαρτήτως όλων των άλλων, ο άνθρωπος... Πάμε στην επόμενη. Έχουμε άλλη?
Όχι, όχι. Αυτή είναι.
Εντάξει. Ο άνθρωπος δεν πάβει να είναι ένα συνεχές χωροχρονικό και βέβαια να παράγει μία συνείδηση η οποία περιλαμβάνει πάρα πολλές επιμέρους λειτουργίες, οι οποίες παράγονται από αυτοτελή τμήματα του εγκεφάλου, αλλά που όλες αυτές μαζί παράγουν μία ενιαία μοναδική υπόσταση του ανθρώπου. Αυτό ακριβώς είναι το ένιγμα της συνειδήσεως, πώς μπορούμε δηλαδή όλο το βιοχημικό, βιολογικό υπόστρωμα του ανθρώπου να ερμηνευθεί, ώστε να αντιληφθούμε ότι παράγεται μία συνείδηση που δίνει υπόσταση στον άνθρωπο, που τον κάνει αναγνωρίσιμο και μοναδικό. Και είναι ακριβώς αυτή η δυνατότητα ότι ο άνθρωπος δίνει στην φύση τη δυνατότητα να καινοτομεί η φύση, χωρίς να αλλάζει καθόλου ο λόγος της υπάρξεώς του. Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ.
Thank you very much for a quick and clear lecture on the quantum theory. Now we will proceed to the next talk of Professor Kouskoukis, Professor of Dermatology and lawyer, επιγενετικός ρόλος της ιαματικής ιατρικής, epigenetic role of thermal medicine. He is president of the Thermal Society and has been working for years and organized several congresses on thermal medicine and reviving physical and thermal medicine in Greece.
Thank you. Ευχαριστούμε και η διοικητική μέριμνα που λέμε. Τάκ, αμέσως τη βρήκε. Να κερδίσουμε λίγο χρόνο. Καταρχήν είναι τιμή μου που από αυτό το βήμα απευθύνομαι και πάλι σε μια ομίγυρη καταξιωμένων διεθνώς επιστημόνων. Ναι. Και βεβαιότατα θέλω να απευθύνω και εγκάρδιο χαιρετισμό και σεβασμό προς το Προεδρείο του Ιδρύματος, που κύριε Πρόεδρε εσείς και κύριε Γερουλάνο και εσείς γραμματέα όλοι, κάνετε αυτή την προσπάθεια η οποία αποδίδει καρπούς. Είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό να ζούμε αυτό, όσοι ταξιδεύουμε έξω τώρα, το βλέπουμε τι γίνεται. Και βεβαίως είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό, σε αυτή την προσπάθεια συμμετέχουν κι άλλοι. Δηλαδή το ότι ο κύριος Πατούλης, ο πρόεδρος του Παγκόσμιου Ιπποκράτη Ινστιτούτου Γιατρών και πρόεδρος της Ελιτούρ και του Ιατρικού Συλλόγου Αθηνών, έχει οργανώσει γενικότερα μια σύμπραξη, θα έλεγα εντός εισαγωγικών, η οποία βοηθάει μία την άλλη. Υπάρχει μια αλληλοεξάρτηση. Έτσι, δεν υπάρχει κάτι ξεχωριστό. Έχουμε φτάσει στο σημείο που όλοι θέλουμε να πάει μπροστά, κύριε Πρόεδρε, και το Ίδρυμα και η ιδέα του Ιπποκράτη. Εγώ τώρα με τον Ιπποκράτη δερματολόγος είμαι, αλλά ασχολούμαι πολλά χρόνια, γιατί διεπίστωσα ότι εμπειρικά πολλοί κόσμος πήγαινε στα ιαματικά μόνος του. Έχει σημασία αυτό που λέω. Δηλαδή, όσοι ξέρουν από στερεά Ελλάδα υπάρχει ένα χωριό, μια ιαματική που λέγεται Ασπρονέργεια, αν το έχετε ακουστά. Πηγαίνανε εκεί ψωρονέργεια, οι άλλοι δίπλα. Γιατί όμως? Γιατί ήξερε ο κόσμος ότι όταν έχει νοσήματα με το δέρμα, πηγαίνει εκεί πέρα και γίνεται καλύτερα. Περνάει η έξαρση. Αν ξέρει κανείς που είναι το Σμόκοβο πάνω από την Καρδίτσα, εκεί έχει ιαματικά τα οποία πηγαίνανε πάλι οι ανθρακορίχοι από την Δυτική Μακεδονία, μόνοι τους παρακαλώ, μετά το καλοκαίρι που γέμιζε από εθαλομίχλη όλο το αναπνευστικό σύστημα, μόνοι τους πηγαίνανε, κάνανε σπνοθεραπεία και γυρίζανε απελευθερωμένοι από τα συμπτώματα, χωρίς καμία επιστημονική τεκμηρίωση. Μάλιστα, εκείνο τον καιρό υπήρχε και το αντίστοιχο ΕΟΠΗ τότε, το οποίο έδιδε ορισμένα χρήματα, 200 ευρώ σήμερα, που γίνανε 150, και πρημοδοτούσε αυτό. Και όλοι έχετε ακουστά ότι οι γιατροί γράφανε παλιά αεροθεραπεία και θαλασσοθεραπεία. Αυτά όλα εμένα με κέντρισαν το ενδιαφέρον και πολύ σωστά σκέφτηκα και λέω δεν είναι δυνατόν σήμερα να έχουμε μια νόσο που λέγεται ψωρίαση, που σήμερα τη λέμε αυτοάνωσο, φλεγμονώδες και τι δεν λέμε για την ψωρίαση, δεν μπορούμε να καταλήξουμε έτσι, του νοσοποιητικού και έχει και συναισθηρότητες. Μεγάλη υπόθεση. Που κάποιος που έχει ψωρίαση μπορεί να καταλήξει από συναισθηρότητες. Αυτοί οι άνθρωποι λοιπόν πηγαίνουν εκεί μόνοι τους. Και σήμερα δίνουμε φάρμακα τα οποία είμαι και εγώ κλασικός γιατρός και βεβαίως το προστάσιο το σημερινό είναι τα λεγόμενα φάρμακα αυτά τα οποία βοηθάνε πάρα πολύ μεν, αλλά έχουν πολλές παρενέργειες. Και το σπουδαιότερο για μένα είναι ότι δεν θεραπεύουν. Απλώς ξεπερνάνε την κρίση και πάμε για την επόμενη υποτροπή της νόσου. Άρα αυτό δεν είναι θεραπεία, αυτό είναι ανακούφιση. Αυτή λοιπόν την έννοια κάνει και η ιαματική ιατρική στα ιαματικά που θα σας πω τώρα, ότι μπορεί και ανακουφίζει τον ασθενή αρκεί να εφαρμόσει το πρωτόκολλο. Εμείς λοιπόν ασχοληθήκαμε πάρα πολύ με αυτό. Κάναμε την Ακαδημία Ιαματικής Ιατρικής το 2015 και με πάρα πολλούς καθηγητάς αντιστοίχων ειδικοτήτων που πιστεύουν στη συμπληρωματική ιατρική και όχι εναλλακτική, διότι η εναλλακτική ιατρική δεν υπάρχει, η ιατρική είναι μία. Του Ιπποκράτη που ξεκίνησε, η κλασική ιατρική, η δυτική όπως θέλετε, και δίπλα λέμε η συμπληρωματική, που την κάνει ο καθένας γιατρός, ο ειδικευμένος, ο οποίος βλέπει τα διάφορα και μετά λέει, εφόσον το εγκρίνει, δεν βοηθάω τον ασθενή μου, όπως κάνω εγώ στα δερματικά, που είμαι δερματολόγος, και λέω πηγαίνετε αυτή τη στιγμή στην τάδε ιαματική πηγή, η οποία επειδή έχει θιάφη μέσα και ραδόνιο που θα δείτε παρακάτω, έχει εξαιρετικό αποτέλεσμα. Και όταν λοιπόν ακολουθήσουν το πρωτόκολλο, γιατί δεν πάνε έτσι, απαγορεύεται, έχουμε ασχοληθεί πάρα πολλά χρόνια και το σπουδαιότερο απ' όλα είναι για να περάσουμε αυτό από το και εσύ και να το ονομάσουμε συμπληρωματική ιατρική και να είναι μέσα η ιαματική ιατρική μαζί με την κινέζικη, την άλλη διάσταση από εξ Ανατολών, τόσα χρόνια, άλλη φιλοσοφία, αλλά και αυτοί έχουν ορισμένα αποτελέσματα. Κάναμε λοιπόν την συμπληρωματική ιατρική και το εντάξαμε. Αυτό για να το περάσει από το και εσύ έγινε αγώνας. Και όπως ξέρετε, εντάξει, υπάρχουν και άνθρωποι οι οποίοι δεν πιστεύουν και δεν θέλουν. Τα φάρμακα, όπως ξέρετε, πώς διακινούνται. Εμείς δεν έχουμε καμία χορηγία από φαρμακευτικές εταιρείες, διότι, εντάξει, λέμε, κλασικός γιατρός είμαι, δίνω κι εγώ, αλλά από μια μεριά είμαι υποχρεωμένος να πω τον ασθενή, υπάρχει και αυτή η διάσταση και αυτός θα σας επιλέξει. Φτάσαμε λοιπόν στο σημείο, πιστήκανε τα μέλη της Επιτροπής και ευτυχώς και επί κυρίας Γκάγκα, τότε που ήταν μαζί με τον κύριο Πλεύρη, υπουργός και αναπληρωτής, την περάσαμε τη διάταξη, υπουργική απόφαση παρακαλώ, και σήμερα ισχύει η συμπληρωματική ιατρική. Νέα διάσταση για την Ελλάδα, που στο εξωτερικό υπάρχει από χρόνια. Ξέρετε όλοι πολύ καλά ότι η Ελλάδα έχει άλλα αντανακλαστικά. Σήμερα οι ειδικότητες είναι 44. Εντάξει. Η γυριατρική, που όλοι γνωρίζουμε τι γίνεται επειδή αυξήθηκε ο μέσος όρος ηλικίας κλπ., ακόμα δεν μπορεί να γίνει ειδικότητα. Ούτε καν υποειδικότητα, τίποτα. Ενώ στο εξωτερικό υπάρχει. Πρέπει λοιπόν να διατρέξουμε ξανά όλες τις ειδικότητες και γι' αυτό το λόγο, αφού ξεπερνάω αυτά, μπαίνω τώρα και σε απάντηση του κυρίου εδώ με την κβαντική, μηχανική κτλ. Όλα αυτά, εγώ είμαι έθερμος υποστηρικτής της κβαντικής θεωρίας. Εντάξει. Και θεωρώ ότι η ενέργεια, η βιοενέργεια που έχουμε μέσα μας είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό. Και είμαστε ένα μέρος της όλης ενέργειας συνολικής. Που λένε είτε οι Κινέζοι, έτσι το yin and yang, τι είναι. Βάζεις τους μεσημερινούς και τους άξονες, βρίσκεσαι και κάνεις. Εμείς τι λέμε οι κλασικοί γιατροί. Συμπαθητικό, παρασυμπαθητικό. Άξονες είναι ενεργειακοί. Πολύ σωστά γίνονται βιοχημικές αντιδράσεις μέσα. Ό,τι και σκεφτούμε, αναφέρατε προηγουμένως ότι ναι, μια νευρομυϊκή διενέργηση γίνεται με μια χημική αντίδραση. Το ξέρουμε όλοι από την τηλεχολίνη κλπ. Και εδώ έρχεται πάλι η ιαματική ιατρική και λέμε πώς ενεργεί όταν ο άλλος έχει πόνο και δεν μπορεί. Έρχεται λοιπόν το θιάφι, πηγαίνει και εντός εισαγωγικών σταματάει λίγο την νευρομυϊκή σύναξη και έτσι λοιπόν δεν κάνει σύσπαση. Όταν δεν κάνει σύσπαση, ανακουφίζει το άρρωστος. Όταν ο άρρωστος ανακουφιστεί, τότε λοιπόν ανοίγουν και τα αγγεία και όλα και η ευκινησία κτλ. Αυτό είναι πολύ σημαντικό. Και αυτό σήμερα το κάνουμε στη λεγόμενη προληπτική ιατρική, γιατί επειδή έχει αυξηθεί ο μέσος όρος ηλικίας, πρέπει να βοηθήσουμε αυτούς τους ανθρώπους, οι οποίοι δεν είναι απόμαχοι, το τολίζω κι εγώ, δεν είναι απόμαχοι. Αυτοί οι άνθρωποι έχουν αυτή την ηλικία είναι κεφάλαιο. Στην Αμερική ο καθηγητής δεν φεύγει με τίποτα, παραμένει καθηγητής μέχρι ότου θέλει ο ίδιος ή συμβεί κάτι. Αλλά δεν λέμε... Ορίστε.
Θέλω να παρακαλέσω μόνο επειδή το ακροατήριο είναι κυρίως Αμερικανοί, ότι δεν έχετε σε διαφάνειες.
Α, οκ, sorry.
Ή αν μπορείτε να πείτε αγγλικά.
Εντάξει, οκ. Ναι, παρασύρθηκα από την όρεξή μου για την αιματική ιατρική. Λοιπόν, ξεκινάμε τώρα και πολύ σωστά, κύριε Πρόεδρε, και ευχαριστώ. Ξεκινάμε λοιπόν τώρα ποιος είναι ο ρόλος, πού είμαστε σήμερα. Λέγαμε, θα εξηγήσω, I'll explain you in English through my slides, and you will see the slides, and I have to cover the Greek people here, right? Okay. Okay. Let's go. Okay. Right now, όπως λέμε τώρα, έχουμε πλέον νέα δεδομένα. Ποια είναι η επιγενετική? Όλοι διαβάζουμε κάθε μέρα όλα αυτά τα περίφημα omics. Τι είναι τα omics? Είναι μηχανισμοί οι οποίοι λειτουργούν μέσα στον οργανισμό και μέχρι τώρα δεν είχαμε χαμπάρι και θα σας το εξηγήσω παρακάτω. Έτσι λοιπόν τώρα έχουμε τα epigenomics. Τι είναι τα epigenomics? Είναι όλη η επιβάρηση που γίνεται πάνω στο DNA, είτε θετική είτε αρνητική, και εξαρτάται από τι είναι. Άρα λοιπόν η επιγενετική έχει τη δράση με θετική, αλλά έχει και αρνητική. Γνωρίζουμε όλοι ότι η ατμοσφαιρική ρήπανση, το κάλεσμα και όλα κάνουν αρνητικά. Έρχεται λοιπόν τώρα η αιματική ιατρική και λέει, εντάξει, συμφωνούμε. Πριν εγγραφούν όμως στο γονιδίωμα αυτές οι αρνητικές δράσεις, έρχεται η αιματική ιατρική και μπορεί λοιπόν και λέει, εγώ τις ανατρέπω. Αυτή είναι η επιτυχία μας. Και αυτά είναι συμπεράσματα που βγάλαμε από το τελευταίο συνέδριο της αιματικής ιατρικής και τώρα κάνουμε ένα πρόγραμμα με τον κύριο Γιαννιό, ο οποίος είναι καθηγητής γονιοδιωματικής. Λοιπόν, η μεθυλίωση του DNA είναι πάρα πολύ σημαντικό και ταιριάζει απόλυτα και σμπρώχνει, έτσι, όλη αυτή τη διαδικασία ταιριάζει απόλυτα με τη φλεγμονή, η οποία έχει σχέση με τα γονίδια. Η ακετηλίωση της ιστόνης, η οποία επηρεάζει πάλι τη δομή της χρωματίνης. Όλα αυτά είναι βαθιά, έτσι. Το microRNA που ρυθμίζεται και μπορεί να βοηθήσει τα πονοπάτια, τα ανοσοποιητικά. Γιατί σήμερα ξέρουμε όλοι το ανοσοποιητικό είναι αυτό το κυρίαρχο. Και μετά και από αυτή τη διαδικασία που περάσαμε τον κορονοϊό και τα ρήμαξε όλα, βλέπετε τώρα τι γίνεται. Ακολουθούμε τώρα το long COVID syndrome. Κάθε μέρα βλέπουμε και καινούργια πράγματα. Δυστυχώς εμείς οι γιατροί δεν το δίνουμε την κατάλληλη σημασία, το ξεπερνάμε. Γίνονται μελέτες τώρα, οι οποίες αποδεικνύουν ότι υπάρχει μεγάλη σχέση. Επομένως, λοιπόν, όλοι αυτοί οι παράγοντες δεν κάνουν τίποτα άλλο παρά ρυθμίζουν την έκφραση της νόσου, η οποία έχει σχέση με τα γονίδια, τα οποία έτσι δίνουν τη διαδικασία της παραγωγής της πρωτεΐνης. Έχουμε λοιπόν διάφορες ασθένειες με γενετική προδιάθεση, οι οποίες δεν έχουν όμως μεγάλη επίρραση στο DNA και στα επόμενα. Έχουμε όμως και παράγοντες περιβαλλοντικούς, τους οποίους όμως μπορούμε εμείς να εκφράσουμε. Όπως είπαμε, η balneotherapy, η αιματική θεραπεία που λέμε, μπορεί να επηρεάσει την έκφραση του γονιδίου. Δεν μπορεί να μπει μέσα στο γονιδίωμα, αλλά την έκφραση πριν αυτή που είναι αρνητική περάσει στο γονιδίωμα για να κληρονομηθεί, την ανατρέπει. Είναι λοιπόν μια διαδικασία αναστρέψιμη. It's a reversible process. Very important. Λοιπόν, τα αιματικά νερά περιέχουν μια ποικιλία από διάφορα μέταλλα, όπως είναι και διάφορα στοιχεία, όπως είναι το θείο, το κάλσιουμ, το μαγνήσιο, το τετραγικό. Επίσης, το καθένα από αυτά έχει διαφορετικές επιρροές επάνω στο σώμα. Επίσης, μην ξεχνάμε ότι μπορεί να περιέχουν και το ραδόνιο, το οποίο ραδόνιο δεν είναι τίποτα άλλο παρά είναι ένα αέριο, το οποίο προέρχεται από το ράδιο, το οποίο ξέρουμε όλοι ότι είναι ραδιενεργό. Και βεβαίως υπάρχουν πολλές καταστάσεις οι οποίες επηρεάζονται και θεραπεύονται, όπως είναι η αρθρίτα, ο χρόνιος πόνος, διάφορες δερματικές παθήσεις. Και βέβαια έχει σημασία ότι ο μηχανισμός της δράσης είναι ότι πρέπει να έχουμε μικρή δόση από το ραδόνιο, διότι η μεγάλη δόση, γνωρίζουμε όλοι, ότι έχει παρενέργειες. Και γι' αυτό το λόγο λέμε, πιστεύουμε ότι το DNA μπορεί μεν να επιβαρυνθεί, αλλά υπάρχουν και μηχανοί οι οποίοι μπορούν να το κάνουν repair, δηλαδή να το ανασκευάσουν. Επίσης, έχουμε την μείωση των αντιοξυδοτικών και όλα αυτά περνάνε μέσω γονιδίων. Και έχουμε και τη διέγερση της προστασίας των κυττάρων και όλα τα συστήματα, δηλαδή βασικά το ανασωπητικό. Τα επιγεννητικά αυτά, επιγεννητικές αυτές δράσεις, όπως είναι παραδείγματος χάρη που είπαμε προηγουμένως η μεθυλίωση του DNA, η διαφοροποίηση της ιστόνης. Σήμερα έχουμε τις μικρο-RNA εκφράσεις και της διαταραχής και βεβαίως έχουμε τις εφαρμογές για φλεγμονώδη και κυρίως ανασωπητικές καταστάσεις. Εδώ μπορούμε να σας δείχνω έτσι επιγραμματικά ποια νοσήματα επηρεάζονται από τη ραδιοθεραπεία. Τα χρόνια φλεγμονώδη, ο πόνος, έτσι σήμερα γνωρίζουμε ότι ο πόνος και μάλιστα είναι και σήμερα καινούργιο που μαθαίνουμε όλοι, ο νευροπαθητικός πόνος, αυτός ο οποίος όλοι δεν γνωρίζαμε και ξαφνικά τον βρήκαμε και όλα τα αποδίδουμε εκεί. Έχουμε την τροποποίηση των θεραπείων των ανασωπητικών και λοιπόν ένα καινούριο, το οποίο χρειάζεται και πολύ σημαντική έρευνα. Είναι οι νευροεκφυλιστικές παθήσεις. Το ραδόνιο λοιπόν δεν είναι τίποτα άλλο, είναι ένα αέρα το οποίο προέρχεται από το ουράνιο του 238 και βεβαίως οι μηχανισμοί όλου αυτού έχουν σχέση με τη διαδικασία της όρμησης. Χρειάζεται, είναι πολύ σημαντικό να δώσουμε μικρές δόσεις, οι οποίες δεν κάνουν τίποτα άλλο παρά διεγείρουν το ανασωπητικό σύστημα. Και οπωσδήποτε έχουμε πάρα πολύ θετικά αποτελέσματα στις αυτές απλές εκθέσεις. Το λέω αυτό διότι, ξέρετε πολύ καλά όλα, υπάρχει εδώ πέρα το νησί Ικαρία, το οποίο θα σας το πω γιατί έχει μεγάλη σημασία. Η Ικαρία λοιπόν ανήκει στις 5 blue zones, 5 blue zones all over the world. Ικαρία. It's very important.
The island of Icaria. It's an island.
The island. The island of Ikaria.
Our American friends, they don't know it's an island.
Of course, because when I was in USA as professor in NYU, where you come from? Greece. Greece. Oh, someone saw, Mykonos. Yeah, Mykonos, not Greece, Mykonos. That's what I'm suffering right now.
An island that longevity prevails, more than 90 years old, and they've been international studies on that.
Probably Aldo Moldo in California, or Okinawa in Japan. There are Sardinia in Italy. 5 blue zones all over the world for the people more than 100 years. It's very important. So, of course, you have different therapies. For example, one is the balneotherapy, who is through the water. The traditional use is for rheumatoid arthritis, ankylosing necrotic spondylosis, psoriasis, and chronic pain syndromes, and skin disorders who are referred to pain relief, reduce inflammation, and change the mobility. The genetic effects, it's very important that the radon has a it's very, very dangerous, it's very high. For example, in Ikaria, in this island, the becquerel is more than 2,000. And it's very, very dangerous because we give only 100 to 150. And in a special protocol, only for 20 minutes therapy, not more. If you overdose, you'll have, of course, the side effects. You see, when we give low dose of radon, we have, of course, epigenetic modifications. For example, the DNA methylation, it goes better, the estrogen acetylation, the mRNA. And these changes may contribute to pain reduction and immune modulation. Very important for all of these changes tonight. And of course, I don't want to mention one by one all of these special TNF and interleukinin and so on. By the way, all of you, if you want, you can take from the office behind my lecture to discuss. So, don't worry. Okay, and tomorrow you can ask me whenever you want. I'll give you my telephone. You call me wherever you are to explain you everything. So medical applications are very important. Balneotherapy exposure, it's in this pre-treatment side, for example, for radium. And it's very important that this protocol is only for 21 days per semester. It's very important, per semester. If you follow this protocol, you will have excellent things and results. But usually, all of us go to these thermal springs, take a bath for 1, 2, or 3 days, and he says, Professor, I didn't see any difference. Yeah, thank you very much. What did I say you? 21 days and only 20 minutes per day. This is the protocol. And per semester, the next semester, it's again 21 days and 20 minutes per day. Do you know what does it mean? So many people around the world, they want to be in better shape, especially the older people, right? They are coming here, and it's a very great opportunity. So, of course, to my point of view, I asked so many times from the mayors and so on, the ministers, to make, of course, the island of Hippocrates. It's very important to make a health resort here, center, a multi-center, a polythematic, everything. Not only this. It's very important, the diet, the air that we're breathing. And you see, chronic inflammatory diseases, arthritis, psoriasis, neuromuscular conditions, fibromyalgia, a new concept. We try to do our best for this because it's very, very serious disease. Potential neuroprotective effects, for example, the multiple sclerosis, and adjunct therapy in integrative medicine. Common applications, you see, the specialties, rheumatology, dermatology, respiratory diseases, stress management, balneotherapy affects inflammation, oxidate rash, and immune infection. All these are tightly regulated by epigenetic mechanisms. So the mechanism of thermal springs is epigenetic. This is a new concept. We work on this, and I open an invitation. This is an open invitation for you if you want to all join us to make these studies. This is a new concept.
Please conclude.
Sorry?
Please conclude as soon as you are ready.
Yeah, sure. Only 3 minutes. So, you see, again, you will study, and clinical correlations are about osteoarthritis again, and it's very important to know that all this downregulation or pro-inflammatory cytokines, we know all of us what about this. So I think sulfur effects and inhibition and so on, you will study radon therapy, the therapeutic effects for all these diseases, and it's very important to know that there is really effective these therapeutic procedures. I think it's worthwhile to take my, if you're interested, of course, my lecture, to study more and more, and I'm waiting for you to give you some more explanations about this because it's a new concept. For example, omics-based studies, the epigenomics, the economics, epigenetic, so many things. All of the about the omics. I wrote a book about the omics, and you can see multi-omics consisting of genomics, epigenomics, transcriptomics, epistranscriptomics, proteomics, epitropeomics, metabolomics, immunogenomics, etc. This is a new field that we have to be alert about this, and of course, it's very important to avoid the DNA methylation by having a clear air, and of course, it's very important to avoid the histone acetylation, and thermal balneology exhibits promise in a new non-invasive therapy approach. I repeat, when you get in, there is relax, and you can enjoy this, and we have to know it. Here, there is one of my books I wrote before 5 years, saying this, that the tourism about the thermal springs is called as thermalism. It's a very optional project. This is my new book, the last one. This says thermal medicine and complementary therapies. This is the concept. It's based in evidence-based. It's not approached by history only, but of course, it's very important that, to my point of view, I give my best. I cannot express to Hippocrates, because Hippocrates is the person that gave me all this. He pushed me, his idea, to say what's going on. The people, the common people, go by themselves. And this is the last one, who wrote all together, Professor Geroulanos. You see, he wrote a chapter for this. This is an excellent book, and it passed through Asclepius to Hippocrates and beyond. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Peskoukis. And I would like to ask Professor Diamandopoulos, a nephrologist, but the old friend, president of the International Society of History of Medicine, has been working for years and made a museum in Patras of History of Medicine, and he's going to speak us about Hippocrates and the tradesman, an uncommon relationship.
He is also co-author in the last book. And thank you very much.
To enlarge it. Can we enlarge it? Anyway, it's fine. First of all, I would like to thank very much the organizing committee, and especially Professors Papandoniou and Geroulanos, for kindly inviting me to address to you this afternoon. My talk will be in Greek, but my transparencies will be in English, so hopefully the non-speaking Greek and the audience can follow it. A basic question we have to start with is who taught Hippocrates and where? And when I say Hippocrates, I mean the writer of the Hippocratic corpus, not Hippocrates himself, but I'm not going to elaborate on that because the authenticity of the treatises have been challenged since antiquity. It was Galen who said, ήταν ο Γαλλινός που είπε, ότι όταν οι Πτολεμαίοι άρχισαν να δίνουν λεφτά σε οποιοδήποτε του πήγαινε ένα παλιό βιβλίο, ένα σωρό ψεύδο-ιπποκρατικές πραγματίες άρχισαν να κυκλοφορούν. Είναι γενικά αποδεκτό ότι αυτός ο Ιπποκράτης Σπούδασε στην ΚΟ και στην Έφεσο, πήγε στην Αίγυπτο, γύρω από τη Μαύρη Θάλασσα στη Σκυθία και γενικά σε όλη την Ελλάδα, που και μορφωνόταν και θεράπευε. Είναι επίσης αποδεκτό ότι επηρεάστηκε τους προσοκρατικούς φιλοσόφους. Η τελευταία επιρροή θεωρείται υπεύθυνη για τη χρήση μεταφορών, μεταφορικού λόγου δηλαδή, στα γραπτά του. Οι προσοκρατικοί χρησιμοποιούσαν ελεύθερα τις μεταφορές, καθώς ήταν κεντρική στο μυαλό τους η αρχή της φύσης, ως ζωντανής οντότητας, τις οποίες οι πράξεις μπορούσαν να γίνουν κατανοητές μόνον με μια μεταφορική αντιπαράθεση στην ήδη κεκτημένη εμπειρία της καθημερινής ζωής. Ο Πλάτων χρησιμοποίησε τέτοιες μεταφορές για τον ήλιο, τη διαχωριστική γραμμή και το πιο γνωστό από όλους, την αλληγορία του σπηλαίου. Στην αλληγορία του σπηλαίου λέει ότι τα ανθρώπινα όντα είχαν περάσει ό,τι στη ζωή σε μια υπόγεια σπηλιά που είχε είσοδο ανοιχτή προς το φως. Έχουν τα πόδια και το λαιμό τους αλυσοδεμένα και έτσι δεν μπορούν να κινηθούν και μπορούν να δουν μόνο μπροστά, προς το πίσω μέρος της σπηλιάς. Πιο πίσω από αυτούς υπάρχει μια δυνατή φωτιά που ακτινοβολεί και ανάμεσα στη φωτιά και σε αυτούς υπάρχει ένας τοίχος και ένας χαμηλός δρόμος. Από το δρόμο περνάνε διάφοροι άνθρωποι, διάφοροι άντρες γράφει, που κρατάνε ένα άγαλμα, κάτι, ένα αντικείμενο και η σκιά του αντικειμένου πέφτει στο πίσω μέρος της σπηλιάς. Έτσι περνάνε όλη τους τη ζωή οι άνθρωποι, πιστεύοντας ότι οι σκιές είναι τα πραγματικά πράγματα. Και συνεχίζει μετά τη γη του ταβού στον ήλιο. Ο Αριστοτέλης είχε διφορούμενες απόψεις. Από τη μια μεριά υποστηρίζει τη μεταφορά ως χρήσιμο ρητορικό και παιδαγωγικό εργαλείο, γιατί επιτρέπει στον ομιλητή να επικοινωνεί εύκολα νέες και σύνθετες ιδέες. Ωστόσο, γενικά πίστευε ότι οι μεταφορές στερούνται της σαφήνειας που απαιτείται στο φιλοσοφικό λόγο. Όλα όσα λέγονται μεταφορικά είναι ασαφή. Μια άποψη την οποία και ο Γαληνός υποστήριζε. Το ανεξαγόριο απόσπασμα DK59V21α λέει ότι τα φαινόμενα είναι η θέα του κρυμμένου. Συμπυκνώνει καλύτερα αυτή τη μέθοδο εξαγωγής συμπερασμάτων, επικαλούμενες αναλογίες από ένα διαφορετικό και κατανοητό επίπεδο. Υπήρξε λοιπόν μια ευρεία χρήση ιατρικών μεταφορών, τόσο στην πολιτική όσο και στη θρησκεία. Ο Hippocrates έζησε μετά τους Περσικούς πολέμους. Όταν οι κοινωνίες, ειδικά στην Αθήνα, άρχισαν να μην πιστεύουν απολύτως στις αξίες του παλαιού καθεστώτος, του Ancien Régime, αμφισβητήθηκαν από το κίνημα των σοφιστών. Στην αρχή με πολύ λογική αμφισβήτηση. Ο Πλάτωνας τους αντιτάχθηκε λυσαλέα, αλλά όχι και πάντα αντικειμενικά. Σε γενικές γραμμές, η Ιωνική παράδοση είχε επιστημονικό πνεύμα, ενώ η δυτική ελληνική φιλοσοφία από την αρχή ήταν ηθικοθρησκευτική. Προτείνουμε ότι ο Ιπποκράτης και διανοητικά και σωματικά βρισκόταν ανάμεσα σε αυτούς τους δύο κόσμους. Δεν ήταν αντιθρησκευτικός, παρόλο όσα λέγονται. Απλώς ήταν πολύ ανοιχτόμυαλος, ώστε να πιστεύει στις θεραπείες εντός εισαγωγικών των διαφόρων τσαρλατάνων. Όμως, πίστευε στους θεούς, όπως οι φιλόσοφοι της αρχαίας σχολής και όπως εκείνοι χρησιμοποιούσε το μεταφορικό λόγο. Στην παρούσα ομιλία συζητάμε τη χρήση από τον Ιπποκράτη μιας μεταφοράς, το πριόνισμα ενός δέντρου, για να εξηγήσει την αρχή της λειτουργίας του ανθρωπίνου οργάνου. Σήμερα στην ομιλία αυτή διάλεξα το νεφρικό σωληναρίων επειδή είμαι νεφρολόγος, αλλά μπορεί για οποιοδήποτε άλλο όργανο να το χρησιμοποιήσουμε. Είναι μια κοινή τάση των ιστορικών της ιατρικής, αλλά των ιστορικών γενικά, για ένα πρόσωπο που αγαπάνε να εφευρίσκουν ότι όλα τα έχει πει, καινοτόμες ιδέες κτλ. Έφτασαν στο σημείο να προτείνουν την καινοτομία, τη δημιούργησαν οι τεχνίτες. Κατά κάποιο τρόπο αυτό λέει και ο Ιπποκράτης, με διαφορετικό μονοπάτι σκέψης. Η χρήση της γνώσης από τον έξω κόσμο, ιδιαίτερα των ανθρωπίνων τεχνών και εργαλείων, προσέφερε στους φιλόσοφους και τους γιατρούς ένα μέσο για κατανόηση των εσωτερικών διεργασιών στο σώμα μέσω αναλογιών και μεταφορών. Η πέψη, για παραδείγματος χάρη, συγκρίθηκε με το μαγείρεμα και περιγράφηκε ως μια διαδικασία κατά την οποία το στομάχι ζεσταίνει και παρασκευάζει το φαγητό σαν ένας φούρνος ή ένα καζάνι. Ακολουθώντας αυτή την ιδέα, ο Ιπποκράτης του περί αρχαίας ιατρικής θεώρησε τη μαγειρική πρόγονο της ιατρικής. Και λέει, ποιο άλλο αντικείμενο λοιπόν είχε κατά νου αυτός που ονομάζεται γιατρός και γίνεται δεκτός επαγγελματίας της τέχνης. ο οποίος ανακάλυψε τη θεραπευτική αγωγή και τη διατροφή που αρμόζει στους αρρώστους, από αυτόν που αρχικά ανακάλυψε και προετοίμασε για όλη την ανθρωπότητα αυτό το είδος τροφής που όλοι χρησιμοποιούμε τώρα, στη θέση του πρώην άγριου και βάρβαρου τρόπου ζωής. Μου φαίνεται ο τρόπος είναι ο ίδιος και ανακάλυψε παρόμοιας φύσης. Ο ένας επιδίωκε να αφαιρέσει εκείνα τα πράγματα που η σύσταση του ανθρώπου δεν μπορεί να χωνέψει, λόγω της αγριότητος και της υπερθερμίας τους. Και ο άλλος τα πράγματα που είναι πέρα από τις δυνάμεις της επίδρασης, κατά την οποία στον καθένα μπορεί να τύχει να αρρωστήσει. Τώρα, πώς το ένα διαφέρει από το άλλο, εκτός από το ότι το τελευταίο επιτρέπει μεγαλύτερη ποικιλία και απαιτεί περισσότερη εφαρμογή, ενώ το προηγούμενο ήταν επαρχή της διαδικασίας. Ακόμα και η σύγχρονη τεχνολογία δανείστηκε επίσης όρους της τρέχουσας χειροτεχνίας για να τις επενδύσει με άλλο νόημα. Λέμε όλοι το Big Bang, the Black Hole, the Web και μπορούμε να πούμε ότι ίσως η παγκόσμια ιστορία να είναι ιστορία μερικών μεταφορικών λόγων. Ως υλικό για την παρούσα ομιλία χρησιμοποίησαμε την γραμματεία περί διέτης από την Hippocratic Συλλογή και σύγχρονες ιατρικές απόψεις για την νεφρική λειτουργία. Η πραγματεία γράφτηκε τέλος του 5ου, αρχές του 4ου αιώνα και δεν είναι τεχνοκρατική. Δεν απευθυνόταν δηλαδή στους γιατρούς, απευθυνόταν στο ευρύ κοινό, στους πολλούς ανθρώπους, όπως λέει, οι οποίοι ενδιαφερόταν να μάθουν κάτι και να προστατέψουν την υγεία τους. Το πρώτο βιβλίο του Περιδιέτης, όπως και το αφιλεγόμενο περί εβδομάδων, είναι τα πιο φιλοσοφικά έργα στην Hippocratic Συλλογή. Και ενώ ήταν η ιατρική η φιλοσοφία του Εμπεδοκλή που ενέπνευσε τελικά το χημικό δόγμα της ανθρώπινης φύσης, είναι η θεωρία του Αλκμαίωνα που στηρίζει το ιατρικό θεραπευτικό δόγμα που προτείνεται στο υπεραρχαίας ιατρικής. Διάφοροι μελετητές επιμένουν ότι στο Περιδιέτης, βέβαια και σημαντική, ήταν η επιρροή μόνο δύο στοχαστών, του Ηράκλειτου και τον Εξαγόρα. Ο Ιπποκράτης πρότεινε πως οι λειτουργίες του σώματος απηχούν τις λειτουργίες του σύμπαντος, όπως αυτό οργανώθηκε από τους θεούς, και όπως εν αγνία τους τις μιμούνται οι χειρόνακτες. Και λέει για αυτούς τους τελευταίους. Χρησιμοποιούν τέχνες που μοιάζουν με την ανθρώπινη φύση, αλλά δεν ξέρουν. Γιατί ο νους του Θεός τους δίδαξε να μιμούνται αυτό που είναι δικό τους, γνωρίζοντας τι κάνουν, αλλά χωρίς να ξέρουν τι μιμούνται. Δεν μπορούν να δουν το όρατο, το σώμα τους, τον κόσμο, τη Θεία Σοφία, μέσω του ορατού, της τέχνης τους. Μόνο οι νημάντες μπορούν να προβλέψουν το όρατο, το μέλλον, μέσω των ορατών σημείων. Αυτή η τεχνική της αντιγραφής, μίμησης, εγκαταστάθηκε στο μυαλό τους από το θείο παρά την αγνιά τους. Οι περιγραφές των τεχνικών διαδικασιών προορίζονται ως εμπειρικές αποδείξεις, τεκμήρια της βασικής θεμελιώδους θεωρητικής αρχής του Ιπποκράτη, η τέχνη μιμείται τη φύση, της προγονικής αρχής των συγχρόνων ιδεών για την ιατρομηχανική και τους σοφιστές. 20 από τα 24 παραδείγματα τεχνικών των χειρονακτών που βρίσκονται στο Ιπποκράτιο Περιδιέτης ταυτίζονται με αυθεντικά αποσπάσματα του Ηρακλήτου, είτε από τις παραλλαγές του. Έτσι, η επιρροή του Ηράκλειτου στην Ιπποκρατική πραγματεία Περιδιέτης πρέπει να θεωρηθεί δογματική και περιεκτική. Υπάρχει ωστόσο μια διαφορά μεταξύ της προσέγγισης του Ιπποκράτη και της προσέγγισης του Ηράκλειτου. Ο Ιπποκράτης εστιάζεται στις αναλογίες μεταξύ διαφόρων τεχνών και του κοσμικού νόμου της αρμονίας και της αρμονίας του σώματος. Ενώ ο Ηράκλειτος χρησιμοποίησε τον κοσμικό νόμο της αρμονίας σαν επιχείρημα στο ηθικοπολιτικό του δόγμα και τους μεταφέρει στον τομέα της ιατρικής. Εξού και αρχική Ηρακλήτη αναλογία μεταξύ ανθρώπινης τέχνης και καθολικής φύσης. Αντικαθίσταται από την αναλογία μεταξύ τέχνης και ανθρώπινης φύσης, δηλαδή της φυσιολογίας του ανθρωπίνου σώματος. Οι τεχνίτες που αναφέρει ο Ιπποκράτης στο έργο του Περιδιέτης και των οποίων τις τεχνικές αναφέρει όταν τα ανακλούν μέσα στο ανθρώπινο σώμα, αναφέρει μεταξύ άλλων τους σιδηρουργούς, τους ξυλουργούς, τους βυρσοδέψες, τους μουσικούς, τους τσαγκάριδες, τους χρυσοχώους, τους κακοματάδες. Ο Ιπποκράτης συνήθως ξεκινά περιγράφοντας τις χαρακτηριστικές δραστηριότητες κάθε τεχνίτη και στη συνέχεια προσπαθεί να δείξει πως αυτές οι δραστηριότητες μοιάζουν με τις μακροσκοπικές και μικροσκοπικές διαδικασίες, καθώς και οι φαινομενικές αντιθέσεις είναι στην πραγματικότητα διαφορετικές πηγές της ίδιας διαδικασίας. Κεντρικό στοιχείο του θέματος αυτού του άρθρου, τώρα δηλαδή που μιλάμε, είναι το απόσπασμα. Δύο άντρες πριονίζουν ένα κούτσουρο. Ο ένας τραβάει και ο άλλος μπρώχνει. Αλλά ενώ κάνουν αντίθετη πράξη, κάνουν το ίδιο πράγμα, το πριόνισμα. Και ενώ κάνουν λιγότερα με την έλξη, βγάζουν περισσότερα με την όθηση. Αυτή είναι η φύση του ανθρώπου. Το ένα μέρος δίνει, το άλλο παίρνει. Δίνει σε αυτό και παίρνει από εκείνο. Και αυτό το οποίο δίνει τόσο πολύ αυξάνεται, ενώ αυτό από το οποίο παίρνει τόσο πολύ μειώνεται. A more vivid demonstration of his doctrine is given in the next short video.
Hi, I'm Matt, and this is my partner Craig, and we're members of the Purdue Forestry Club, and we're going to demonstrate the two-man buck saw for you.
Καθαρά σκοτσέζικα αυτά, ναι. Εστιάζοντας τώρα στο θέμα μας, την ανταλλαγή των ιόντων στην νεφρικά σωληνάρια, θυμόμαστε ότι από την κάψουλα του Μπάουμαν, απάνω αριστερά, μετά στο σύστημα συλλογής υπάρχει μια αέναια κίνηση ιόντων μέσα και έξω από το σπήραμα και τα σωληνάρια που μοιάζει με την αέναια κίνηση ενός πυρονιού όταν οι ξυλοκόποι πυρονίζουν ένα δέντρο. Εν ολίγης, νερό, νάτριο, κάλιο, χλώριο, ουρία, γλυκόζη και άλλες δευτερεύουσες ουσίες εισέρχονται ή και εξέρχονται από το σπήραμα, την κάψουλα του Μπάουμαν, το εγγύη σωληνάριο, την αγγείλη του Χένλ, το άπο και εγγύη σε σπειραμένο σωληνάριο, στο διάμεσο χώρο και στα περισυνολιδή τριχωδή αγγεία, που οδηγούν στην αύξηση και στη συνέχεια στη μείωση της ειδικής βαρύτητας των ούρων, προκειμένου να εξορροπηθεί στο φυσιολογικό εύρος, που για τα ούρα είναι το 1,005 έως το 1,030. Αυτό επιτυγχάνεται μέσω ενός μηχανισμού, όπου το ένα μέρος μπρώχνει, το άλλο τραβάει. Το ένα μέρος δίνει, το άλλο παίρνει. Δίνει σε αυτό και παίρνει από εκείνο. Και αυτό το οποίο δίνει τόσο πολύ αυξάνεται, ενώ αυτό από το οποίο παίρνει τόσο πολύ μειώνεται. Συμπερασματικά, υπάρχει μια ενδιαφέρουσα ομοιότητα μεταξύ της προβαλλωμένης λειτουργίας του πριονίσματος στο περιδιέτης, ως αντικατοπτρισμού της λειτουργίας του ανθρωπίνου σώματος και ειδικότερα του έργου των νεφρικών σωληνωρίων. Η γενικότερη αρχαία ελληνική επιστημονική σκέψη ήταν πρόθυμη να παράγει υποθέσεις χωρίς να κοπιάζει να τις υποστηρίξει με αυστηρά επιστημονικά κριτήρια. Πλησιάζοντας το τέλος της ομιλίας μου, ας μου επιτραπεί μια τριπλέτα με παιχνιδιάρικες παρομοιώσεις. Τα χελιδόνια μας έμαθαν να χτίζουμε. Η αράχνη μας έμαθε να εφαίνουμε. Το αηδόνι μας έμαθε να τραγουδάμε. Αυτά τα παιχνιδάκια δεν τα έγραψε κάποιος άσχετος, τα έγραψε ο Δημόκριτος, ο πατέρας της ατομικής θεωρίας. Στο μακρινό παρελθόν, η φαντασία κυριαρχούσε ελεύθερη, προσφέροντας το πλεονέκτημα μιας φωτεινής όρασης, της μεγάλης εικόνας, ενώ στις μέρες μας η τεκμηριωμένη ιατρική εξυμνεί τα μέγα δεδομένα, περιορίζοντας το οπτικό μας πεδίο. Ο Τζόρσεν Κλέινβιλ το 17ο αιώνα, στο έργο του Vanity of Dogmatizing, απέδωσε αυτό το σχόλιο πιο λυρικά από μένα και ίσως πιο απόλυτα, λέγοντας «Ο Αδάμ δεν χρειαζόταν ομοταγιάλια. Η οξύ της φυσική του οράσεως του έδειχνε πολλά από την κοσμική μεγαλοπρέπεια και γενναιότητα χωρίς το τηλεσκόπιο του Γαλιλαίου. Και είναι λίγα πιθανό πως οι κοιμοί οφθαλμοί του ή δύνατο να προσεγγίζουν εξίσου καλά τον άνθρωπο κόσμο όσο εμείς με όλα τα πλεονεκτήματα της τεχνολογίας. Σας ευχαριστώ.
Thank you, Thanos. Are there any questions from the floor? Any remarks? Nope. So I think that we close the session and we see you tomorrow morning.
Thank you. Thank you for great presentation.